Folks, I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures, and the majority, well, let me just say all of the pictures that you're going to see are pictures of food of one type or another that are presented in such a way as to entice you. Now, this first picture is a picture of a steak that you can obtain from Ruth Chris. Now, they have various locations: New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, Las Vegas. Pretty nice looking steak, won't you agree? Here's a picture of a steak prepared by Outback Steakhouse. That picture looks pretty good as well. Here's a picture of pasta with meatballs from Olive Garden. Very succulent, nice sized meatballs. You got Parmesan cheese spread over it. Really looks good. Now here's a picture of a rack of ribs from TGIF, various locations throughout the country. Again, nice looking rack of ribs. You got a little bit of greenery on the side with some French fries. For you chicken lovers, here's a picture of spicy Kentucky Fried Chicken. Picture looks very enticing. Could just grab that piece right in the front and start munching on it right off the bat. For you lobster lovers, here's a picture of two prepared broiled lobster tails. Good. For you prime rib lovers, here's a picture of a prime rib prepared by Lawry's, located obviously in Los Angeles, maybe not so obviously, but in Los Angeles, Dallas, Las Vegas, New York. Man, I love prime rib, and I gotta tell you, that is a really good looking piece of prime rib. For you folks up in the Northwest, that is a lamb chop, magnificently prepared by the Metropolitan Grill. Now, the thing about all the pictures that I've shown you is that the majority, if not all, of those pictures are pictures of food that is prepared and photographed in such a way as to entice you. Another way of saying it is the products that you've seen were packaged in such a way as to draw your attention and to make you want to obviously go to the restaurants and have some. Now, I'm going to go back to Ruth Chris, and I will tell you that if you go to a Ruth Chris, pretty much any Ruth Chris, and I've been to quite a few of them, if that is how you want your steak prepared and you tell them that you want it braised and slightly blackened, when that steak comes to your table, it will be piping hot, it will be braised and blackened just like that. I have never gotten a steak from Ruth Chris that wasn't prepared the first time to my satisfaction. Now, Outback Steakhouse. Again, nice looking steak as far as the advertisement is concerned, but I will tell you, I've been to several Outback Steakhouses, and their manner of preparation and how their steaks come to your table, if I were to say two words about them, I would say Outback Steakhouse false advertising. Olive Garden. I've been to, again, several Olive Gardens, and for the most part, when you order pasta with meatballs, the pasta is going to be prepared properly and the meatballs are of that size. So the advertising is absolutely correct there. TGIF, that rack of ribs that you see there, how nice it looks, for the most part, that is not what you are going to get when you go to TGIF. Unless possibly you know someone and they know exactly what you want through trial and error. Kentucky Fried Chicken. No. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it. Rarely do you get Kentucky Fried Chicken, in my opinion now, that is decent. I don't know what they do with their chicken. Their recipe as far as their coating is pretty nice, but their chicken is the pits. Now, I forgot which, and this is from my private collection, I forgot which restaurant I got these lobster tails at. Oh, I know where I got them at. This is from the Palm restaurant located in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. This particular restaurant is world renowned for its lobster preparation. And I can tell you, the picture that you see there, if you happen to be fortunate enough to be able to go to Las Vegas and make a reservation, you do need a reservation to get in here, and if there's a convention, forget it. But if you are able to get into the restaurant and you order twin lobster tails, what you see here is exactly what you are going to get. I've dined there multiple times. Service is excellent. If you are a wine connoisseur, their wine cellar has a fabulous collection. Pricey, but worth it. Lowry the Prime Rib. Now, I've only been to the Lowry's that's located in Beverly Hills, folks. But I will tell you, every time I've gone to that particular restaurant and I've ordered my prime rib, the way that you see it here, that is exactly how I have received it. Piping hot, barely blackened around the edge, but good to the last drop. Now, the Metropolitan Grill, which is located in Seattle, Washington. Again, another world-renowned steakhouse. Braised lamb chops. I am telling you, I have never had a better lamb chop than I had at this particular restaurant. Now, I say all of that because we are enamored with advertising and packaging, and we believe the advertising and the packaging. So if I were to say to you that every last picture that I showed you was more than likely detrimental to your health, you probably wouldn't believe me. So let me go to the last picture. That is a picture of moldy bread. Now, most people, or the majority, as a matter of fact, of people, if they saw a picture of moldy bread and they had it within their power to make sure that moldy bread was removed from the face of the earth, they would. The picture, as presented, is not a picture that is appealing or pleasing to the eye. But if I were to tell you that this is a picture of something that is more valuable to us, more healthy for us than the other pictures that I showed you, you probably would say that I'm crazy. But you would be wrong. Why would you be wrong? Because that mold that you see there is the basis for the production of penicillin, which has saved millions and millions of lives. Penicillin is known as a miracle drug. It is a super powerful antibiotic. It literally, if used properly, does save your life. But if you just saw this picture, you would be totally disgusted by it, not understanding the benefits, how wonderful this particular moldy product is. Now, I say all that because, again, America is enamored with packaging and how things appear. But the majority of the time, we fail to get past the packaging and get into the content, the actual value of items that we look at. Now, I've been long-winded. I've spoken about, I say, 13 minutes or so. And I've said all this for one reason. America has packaged black people like this mold. Black people are considered dangerous, violent, evil, non-contributors to society, etc. And because of that packaging, the value of black people is severely diminished, to the point that when crimes are committed against black people, unless the assailant is black, the crime is discounted to the point of ignoring the crime. Now, I came to this conclusion a long time ago, but I saw a video, and I'm going to leave a link to it, of the Philando Castile murder, by a Hispanic police officer. I, like a lot of people, saw the video that was taken by his girlfriend, but up until yesterday, I had not seen the police car dash cam footage. I also hadn't seen the footage on the interrogation, and that's what it was, the interrogation of Diamond Phillips, his girlfriend, at the police station. And I also had not seen the video on Ms. Phillips and her daughter in the back of the police car. I'm going to add links to all of those videos so that you can see for yourself. But with all that being said, it's my opinion, and it's just that, an opinion, that because white society has marketed, packaged, advertised black people like this mold that most people would want to get rid of, destroy, throw away. That's how white society views black people, to the point that even when they see a crime committed against a black person, it's not that big a deal. And in some cases, especially with these majority white juries, it's no deal whatsoever. That police officer murdered that man. It was captured on video. The jury saw the video, yet they discounted it. They ignored it. It didn't happen as far as they were concerned. So they arrived at a not guilty verdict. Not guilty of second-degree manslaughter, not guilty of discharge of a firearm which almost, or could have, I should say, killed Diamond Phillips and her daughter. This police officer basically was given a walk. Why? Because it was a black person whom he committed the crime against. Now, if that had been a white person of means that had been murdered in this particular fashion, there would have been hell to pay by this police officer. And the jury would have felt more sympathetic towards the victim. But they showed no sympathy for Mr. Castile, who was an upright citizen, did the right thing, and still paid the ultimate penalty for being a black man in America. Folks, media ran with the quote-unquote supposed polling of 10-2 to convict another black man, which was a lie. The polling was actually 5-7 and 7-5 during various stages of the jury deliberations, and I'm speaking now of Bill Cosby. Another man who apparently cannot receive justice. Justice being a not guilty verdict because there is no evidence to convict, only the word of a person who can't even keep her story straight. But packaging, 50 women supposedly made accusations against Mr. Cosby, of which 37 were completely proven to be untrue, 2013, media has packaged Mr. Cosby. And they've packaged him in such a way as to poison the minds of any person who doesn't take the time to actually investigate and look at all of the evidence or lack thereof and the circumstances surrounding all of the accusations. Until America decides to look past the packaging and to look at the actual value of black people, black males in particular, this is going to go on. Now, I don't know about you, but being a black man in America is being an endangered species. I will say this, I have been fortunate. And again, what happened to Mr. Castillo, as far as the stop was concerned, as far as his interaction with the police officer, letting him know that he had a weapon, a legal weapon, in his car or on his person, I can honestly say the same exact thing happened to me. And I guess I was lucky, but I had laid out my situation a bit better than Mr. Castillo. When the officer approached me, informed me of what he believed to be my transgression, and asked me for my identification, etc., etc., I had my wallet already set to pull one piece of the information out. That was my driver's license. But what I also had ready was a copy of my concealed carry permit. And I handed both pieces of identification to him. It was at this point that I told him that I had a weapon in the car. And I asked him if he wanted me to step out of the car so that he could get to my car insurance certificate, which was right next to my weapon. Now again, I was lucky because the officer that I ran into told me that he didn't have a problem with me going into my central compartment, taking my gun out, placing it in the passenger seat next to me, and then acquiring my car insurance. And again, the more I think about Mr. Castillo, the luckier I think I was at that point in time. So again, folks, packaging. We need to repackage ourselves, and we need to get rid of this quote-unquote moldy bread appearance and advertise and promote our benefit to this society. We also need to get a better sense of accountability for quote-unquote law enforcement, and that excuse that I was in fear for my life, in my opinion, that dog don't hunt.